My name is Felicia. You can call me Felicia, but I go by SimplyFeli, so I have a YouTube, so use SimplyFeli. Today, when I first heard that the theme of the day was identity, I was praying to Abba. I was talking to God. I was like, God, which poem should I do? Because there's a couple I knew off by heart, and the one he put in my heart, I didn't know. So that's why I have my kind of safety net here. And he just put it in my heart to say it to you today, and it's called Psalm 139. And it's based on the verse in Psalm 139 that goes, I will praise you for I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and this my body knows full well. Amen. And so this is the poem, and I pray that you're blessed by it and it ministers to you guys. I stand under your fearfully wonderful gaze. Your eyes study my own as I recall your first word to my last breath in an instant. Existent outside of the confines of time yet, all through every second of my biological clock. Seeing minutes tick into existence, I was forming under the rise and fall of the sun. You wrote the story of my life with ink drawn from wells of heaven, as if genetics was a secret code breath is written in, or as if DNA is merely the ribbon, presented the packet of my being to the world, signed and sealed with your indelible mark, your hands, that had known me before the foundations of the earth, orchestrating the melody of my life deep within the confines of my mother's womb, made in the image of beauty, splendor, wonder, grace. Your love radiates within like the birthing of a new star, yet my mind has not always comprehended your marvelous works. Ignoring the master's creativity behind the masterpiece, yet pieces of me were left obscured. As I tried to understand myself through the gaze of man, I'm not the one whose image I bore. You see, you can either see cups as half full or half empty. And always the pessimist, I used to think that an adequately filled bra could always distract from an adequately filled mind, which mapped out the stars at night, dotting out constellations with fingertips as I travelled around Orion's belt, tracing out Pegasus with my imagination yet. Taxidermy was a fine art that I had mastered, stuffing lies underneath my shirt to keep the stargazers intrigued yet, never understanding that a pure heart burns more ferociously than the sun. That your very fingers, God, were the ones that placed each of my ribs like a cocoon around my heart, like fragile fingers clasping onto a butterfly, because to you, the size of my heart outweighed the pressure that was placed upon it to feel like something it wasn't. And my hair, which came with a mind of its own, curling coiling circumferences, which resulted in a makeshift halo which adorned my very head, yet I couldn't see your creativity behind it, so I rested with it instead. Seeing early mornings like WWF reruns, with the tangling combs as my weapons of choice, yet patience was a tag team partner and never allowed to enter the ring. So I partnered with no lie relaxer instead. She promised to smooth out my kinks and remove any trace of frizz, as if straight hair could straighten out all my wrong turnings. Not understanding that you knew and counted every follicle of hair on my very head and allowed each one to reach towards heaven. You see, it was almost prophetic. My hair always knew the only way to grow was up. I refused to be bound by gravity and sought to seek your face instead. And then the growth spurts came, like the ushering in of a new season, which saw wildflowers bloom and gave birth to mountains and mounds protruding from landmarks which were once barren. But with the new season came the valleys and the roads which marked out their history in my skin. Yet those stretch marks and scars were once a thing I bore, now I love them. Seeing them as stories written by hands of time themselves, like how Ecclesiastes scribbled up moments of reaping and moments to sow. These tall tales remind me that the birth of a new season, how my body can grow. From childlike faith to a woman of God, a princess of the Most High, letting my crown be adornments of meekness instead of gold, finding beauty in your pearls of wisdom, to the ones that will grace my neck. You trace out the blueprint of my mind with pen nibs made of gold. You catch every tear that would ever grace my cheek from past, present and future regrets, with divine band-aids at hand for every Mr. Rightly wrong that played tic-tac-toe with my heart, crossing out love from the equation, leaving me with nothing. Even when I didn't believe in you, you never stopped believing in me. Jealous of me from the moment I was created, and despite all the battles I've had with the shell you've placed me in, you smiled when I was formed, like an artist proud of his work, giving me the audacity to bear your likeness when for years I couldn't reflect your sun, but now his countenance shines like rays, illuminating the darkness that was once within. So now I praise you, for I am fearfully, wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and this my soul knows full well. Amen.